everyone, thank you for joining us. You're listening to the BiG podcast in partnership with Design and Build UK's Women in Construction Awards. This season we are celebrating women in trade. I'm Layla Gunter, and coming up in this Equality in Trade podcast, we're going to be talking to Amy the Sparky, who runs her own electrical business but is also smashing it on Instagram and YouTube with videos of her working on the tools and also hosting her own podcast. Amy talks about her route into working as an electrician and how she didn't really feel like it was an option for her when she was younger, but finally decided to retrain after travelling at the age of 28. She knew she would be the only woman on the course, so it took her a while to pluck up the courage. She tells us all about her experience on the course, journey afterwards, including the highs and lows and some stereotypes. Amy really is an inspiration. We absolutely love talking to her and know you will love listening to her too. But first, don't forget to give us a like and a subscribe on your favourite podcast platform. And if you want to contact us, find out what else we've been up to, you can follow us on our socials. Hi, Amy.
Hi, are you okay?
Yeah, good, thank you. So Amy, we've kind of brought you along because we connected on Clubhouse, and I listened to your story, and I kind of thought you'd be perfect for this season's Women in Trade podcast. And I know you've also got experience in doing your own podcast on women in trade.
Yeah.
So we really appreciate having you on the show. So thank you.
Thanks for having me.
So would you like to just introduce yourself a little bit and kind of just tell us a little bit about your backstory and how you've become a Sparky?
Okay. Well, oh God. Okay, so I went back to college. I'm Amy Barratt-Singh. Like you said, I have my own podcast and YouTube channel. It's not a huge channel. It's going okay. I've just started releasing videos of me actually working on the tools, and it's sort of taking off a bit now because that's generally what people want to see. Yeah, like you said, I met you guys through Clubhouse. I'm quite sort of involved in the social media side of things. It started with Instagram. But yeah, how I got into it. So I've always wanted to do something sort of hands-on. I've said this before, I wanted to be a plumber when I was a kid. But yeah, just sort of, I don't know if I sort of grew out of the idea or just sort of forgot about it because I never thought it was an option for me because it's never pushed in schools. You know, my family didn't push me to do it. You feel like it's not an option for you as a woman, as a girl, to go into something like this. So I just sort of forgot about it. I went off, did other things. You know, I worked in schools. Worked in the jewelry quarter for a bit. I was quite bored. And then when I was 28, I just thought, do you know what, I'm just going to do it. I'd been traveling for a little while, and I think that's definitely what gave me the confidence to do it. Because college at 28 is a scary thought, especially in something like this, because you know you're going to be the only woman there. So 28, I decided to go back to college. I did because of my situation at the time, I couldn't do the apprenticeship. I just couldn't afford it. So I did a 2-year full-time course, level 2, level 3 electrical installation. So I could work while I was doing it. So I had a job with flexible hours, which was perfect. And college was sort of, it was full-time, but it's sort of 2.5 days a week. I attended normally 2 days a week. And I did well at college. I wouldn't say I enjoyed it.
Why is that? Why didn't you enjoy it too much?
College was an experience. All of the things that I was concerned about going before joining college weren't really a problem. So being a woman wasn't really an issue. I mean, day one was cringe. It was really awkward, you know. Walking in, there's about 200 people in this room. Like they were doing like a day, like introduction day, and I was like the only woman. Literally all the staff were men, and I was 10 minutes late as well, so they were already in there, and I literally walked in and I was like, hi. It was so but they were fine. Like my classmates, all of the lads were absolutely fine with me, and being a woman was never really an issue at college. Being older than everybody else was more of an issue, which I didn't think it would be. But the lads used to take the mickey out of me, saying that I was old and whatever, but in like a funny, like banter way. I had a really good relationship with most of them. We used to go on nights out and stuff, and I was like the mom of the group. But it was still fun, and we got on really well. So yeah, college as a whole, it was frustrating more than anything because the college was awful, like really unorganized. I was paying a lot of money to be there, and the most lessons we didn't have a tutor. I attended more lessons where there was no tutor than there was a tutor. It was really frustrating. A lot of it was go on this thing online and complete this course or whatever. And I used to think, well, you could have emailed me this. I could have done it in an hour at home and gone to work for the day. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It frustrated me more than anything. And I kept voicing my concerns, but nobody really cared or listened. But I found that from talking to a lot of other women on my own podcast in different trades, not just electrics, that they've had the same or similar experiences with colleges, unfortunately. Which is a real shame, because it's just could be something else that puts women off going into it.
Yeah, definitely.
But I wouldn't say it was a negative experience.
Yeah.
It was, after the first initial 2 weeks of it being a bit awkward and whatever, it was absolutely fine. I didn't have any problems with staff or the lads, and it was a good laugh sometimes. And
I'm
still keeping in touch with a couple of the lads, so that's nice.
Yeah, that is really positive, but also really crazy that you were 1 in 200. I mean, like, what's that all about? Like, you're right. So like you said, like earlier, because I used to work in a school actually, and I worked at a college, so I know what the problem is with FE colleges. There's just like a lack of funding. It's really, really rubbish. But and that's quite common. I've seen that across courses before. And like you said, it's going to be another barrier to stop people from doing what they want to do. But going back to what you said, like, so I think like in schools, like it is bizarre how kind of like we are pushed more towards certain subjects. And I think especially probably maybe like, 5-6 years ago, I don't know if things are changing, but what subjects do you think you were pushed towards back then?
Like nursing.
Yeah.
There was a massive thing like of for girls being like going into like care jobs and nursing and stuff. And I did consider it for a while, and then I thought that's just not for me. Like, teaching, and actually quite a few of my friends ended up being nurses, teachers, and hair and beauty. Generally what girls are pushed into, or maybe not even pushed into. I think it's just a natural thing now, isn't it? That's just what girls do. That's what a lot of people think, and that's the courses that colleges and schools push. It was never even a thing at school about a girl going into a trade. It was never spoken about. Never. I spoke with Rachel from Plumbing by Rach. She's on Instagram. She was actively discouraged. She always wanted to, she wanted to be a plumber. She really wanted to be a plumber. She did really, really well at school. She's very intelligent. She got really good A-level results. And she still wanted to be a plumber, and they were actively discouraging her, saying, "Oh, you're too clever to do that." It was really wrong. Like, that's what she's doing. How can you be too clever to do it? She's absolutely smashing it now. She's doing so well, so she definitely made the right decision. If you want a dream, her parents were really supportive. So and she's got a sister who's just coming towards the end of her electrical apprenticeship as well.
Oh, amazing. That's cool. She's like trailblazing it for the family. That's cool.
It's really nice.
Yeah. So what about you? So how did you kind of like think, okay, so you said like initially you had a little bit of a taste for plumbing, and then you kind of like passed that off. Where do you think that came from? Because like it isn't every day that a girl thinks, oh, I'm going to be a plumber.
Oh, it was my granddad. My granddad was a plumber. We were like best mates. We used to do everything together. He was a plumber. He had his own business like for as long as I can remember. But yeah, we were always together. You know, we were in the garden together or doing stuff together. We used to go fishing together. And yeah, that was just his thing. I'd always known that he's a plumber. And when I was a kid, I used to say, "Oh, I'm going to do what Granddad does." And then just as I got older, I don't know if I thought, oh, I can't do it because I'm a girl. It was just like I said, it just wasn't a thing. So I just to get your dream as like a child.
Yeah, it all becomes a bit real, doesn't it? And it's like you've got to earn money in a certain way. So sorry, go on. Sorry.
I was just going to say, like, as I got older, when I was really thinking about what I wanted to do, I was just put off from being a plumber. My granddad had a lot of back problems, and he used to always say it was from work, and I used to think, oh, I don't want that to be me. And also, I can't touch toilets and stuff. Got OCD, so I thought plumbing's not for me. Both of my brothers are electricians. They did apprenticeships from school, so I knew quite a bit about it. I used to think it was really interesting. I thought, you know what, I'll give it a go. So yeah, that was it.
That's cool. And so kind of like, what is it that like you find really interesting about like kind of your job day to day, I guess?
Oh, I don't know. I just absolutely love my job. Like every day is different. I love that it's physical, like hands-on. I couldn't do a desk job. I tried and it just didn't suit me. I like that it's a challenge. I'm not going to say it's not. It is a challenge in lots of ways, like physically, mentally, going back to college when you're that bit older and trying to learn all this new stuff, I found quite difficult. You sort of get to a point where you feel like your brain's full. But yeah, so that was a challenge. And then just little daily challenges like dealing with people, dealing with people that maybe don't support you and what you're doing, and but then when you're on like a bigger job with other trades and stuff, I love all like the banter and stuff. It is a really fun job. It's a really good, like every day is different. I just love it.
Yeah, it sounds amazing. So so currently you said you've got your own business, is that right? So what's your experience been like in the electrical world so far? What have you done so far?
Well, I couldn't, when I was at college, I couldn't get a job actually working on the tools because I had no experience, and it is difficult to get into at the beginning. And I was lucky, literally my last week of college, I managed to get a job as an electrician's mate with a big local company. So all the work was local. It was brilliant. I did 4 McDonald's refurbs with them, like rewires. That was an experience to go from being in college, just learning those bits that you do on, like you have like a board this big that you're doing everything on, to go into a real life, like to a McDonald's and be like, right, we're going to rewire this. I was like, what is this going on?
Yeah,
I'll be honest, I had no clue. My mind was blown by lots of things, and I just thought, what have I done? Like, because it's so different. It's so different. Lots of things are different. I was actually talking about this. Sorry, I'm going off on one now. I was talking about this last week. I was doing some testing, and I was saying how in college you're taught testing, and it almost like you're taking in what you're doing, but because it's got no context, you don't. None of it really sunk in. Do you know what I mean? Although I knew what I was doing, the figures, the numbers didn't really mean anything to me. And because everything's on a board in front of you, and you're just there doing it all, you're like, oh, this is quite simple. And then you go to a real life scenario and you're like, what? You literally forget everything you've done at college. None of it makes sense. And the problem with me is because I've moved around with different companies, everybody sort of ends up, they have their own way of doing things. Although the tests are the same, they have a different order or just a different way. So I've learned this off one person, this off another person. And last week I was really lucky to go and spend a day with a guy called David Savoury. I said to him, look, I want to forget everything that I've learned so far. and I want you to spend a day with you, and I want you to tell me the right way, or his, your way, because he's amazing. He is amazing. He's very intelligent, and I just want to learn your way, and then I can go off and I'll probably, end up doing it my own way. But I want to start off knowing the right way.
Yeah.
And I spent literally a day with him, and I said to him, I've learned more off you in a day than 2 years at college, because then you've got like the context of it. Do you know what I mean? And
yeah, definitely.
You know what the numbers are. You know what you're looking for.
Yeah.
And it was absolutely brilliant.
Oh.
But yeah, sorry, I went off on one then.
No, that's great.
I did that. I did McDonald's, then I did a bit of council work, like outside lighting jobs. Worked in a big school. They were changing a school to an academy. Then I left that company. I went on to I did about 4 months on new builds, which was actually a really good experience, and I'd recommend it to anyone starting out to try and get into new builds, because although I wouldn't want to do it for like the rest of my life, because you'd be so bored, but I think for perfecting the basics, and like in an easy way, because you've not got to get floors up and stuff like that, it's really good for like learning about what circuits you would put in a house and how you'd run them, and then second fixings, light switches and stuff. Just even the really basic stuff like fixing boxes, level, capping cable. I just think it's a really, really good experience, because you're just doing the same thing over and over and over.
Yeah.
And you're perfecting that. So I did that, and then then I came to a local company here, and for about 18 months, and I did a lot of domestic, and that was really good, because they were a really good company. The lads were really great. There was 6 of us. They're really supportive, very knowledgeable. That was good. Then I went to a smart homes company for a little bit, but I just really wanted to just work for myself. I'm much happier setting my own schedule, finding my own work, but then also I've got like a close group of people that I sub to.
Yeah.
And I just enjoy that more. I like the variety of it. So that's
yeah.
where I'm now.
Oh wow. And so how long have you been on your own?
Oh, only about a month.
Oh wow, God, that's so cool. So new. That's amazing.
Check out designandbuilduk.net and go to the Women in Construction Awards section. On there, you'll be able to nominate any wonderful women, men and companies for one of our upcoming awards for 2023. On there, there's also a section for Women in Construction and Infrastructure Hub, where we're creating a community of women across the construction and infrastructure sector who are going to be passing each other work and inspiring each other. Due to launch in October, so if you just fill out the whitelist details, we'll keep you updated. Thanks for joining us on the BiGDUG podcast in partnership with Design and Build's UK's Women in Construction Awards. Today we've been talking to Amy the Sparky, who runs her own electrical business but is also smashing it on Instagram and YouTube with videos of her working on the tools and also hosting her own podcast. Be sure to follow us and Amy on socials and show your support.
And you've also kind of like really pushed your social media as well, so your Instagram and your YouTube. You like are very modest and you're like, yeah, I'm not doing so well, but you have got like 7,000 views the last time I saw on your most recent video.
I looked this morning actually, because I've got another video coming out today and it's on 17,000.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
oh my god.
So I'm not gonna lie, I'm really pleased. I started the YouTube channel, the podcast, in January, I think, about mid-January. And it was fantastic. So the first 20 episodes, I met some amazing women, and it was, I made some great contacts. I made some awesome friends. I've met people that I now work with. It was brilliant for me personally. It's just become like a hobby to me. I set up these chats, and although I was only releasing about half an hour on the podcast, we'd end up talking for like 2-3 hours, and it's just really nice sharing experiences and stories and stuff.
But
so it was fantastic on a personal level for me, meeting people, but from right near the beginning, I was getting loads of messages from people saying, can you do videos of you working on the tools? And because, you know, all the big guys out there that are doing it, you know, like Nick Bundy, I can't think now, Artisan, all these guys, David Savory, they're all working, they're doing videos of them working and stuff. And yeah, people love it. So I'll be honest, I've been putting it off because I don't like all the online criticism and trolling. I find it quite difficult, because you put stuff out there that you're proud of, that you know, and if it gets slated, you start to doubt yourself and think, well, is that rubbish? Like, why am I getting slated? I'm really proud of that piece of work. I think it's great. And anyway, I had a chat with Nick about it, and I did a little video when I was working on one of his jobs, and it did quite well. It got over 4,000 views, and I thought, right, okay, I'll give it a go. So I borrowed a camera and I did a video of when I was on one of my own jobs. I was doing a board change. That must be the one that you've looked at. And yeah, so it's been out 2 weeks and it's got 17,000 views. It's done really well. So I did record a recording with David last week, and that's coming out today. So we'll see.
So cool.
I've got so much. You're always going to get a few negative comments.
Yeah.
But I got so much support, so many positive comments. It was brilliant, actually. It was really good, and I hope that more women sort of find the confidence. It's probably not even a confidence thing, it's probably the timing. Like, it is time consuming doing it, but I hope that more women start doing it and, you know, showing off what we can do and stuff. So
we need some female role models.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really positive and it's so inspiring to hear you talk about kind of like your experience and your journey, and, you know, the fact that you were doing so well on social now as well. But I know that you said that you have had some negative experiences, so can you just talk to us a little bit about kind of like maybe negative experiences actually on the job and also with social media?
On the social media side of things, I've had, you know, you put your stuff, you put your things online, and you've got to expect that you're going to get stuff.
Yeah, you're vulnerable, aren't you? Yeah,
and you're putting yourself out there. You've got to expect it. And I think at the beginning, when I started my Instagram, I was okay. I was like, oh, it's weird, but whatever. And then it started to get to me, and I started to not post pictures of my work. And I was like, but this was the whole point of me setting up my Instagram. It's looking at other people's work.
Yeah.
You know, meeting people and putting my work out there, you know. So I started posting pictures again, and I do have days where I get really down. If I've had loads of negative stuff, I think, oh, why do I do it? But then, you know, like I said, there's much more support out there than the negative stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna carry on posting it. I've had you know, I block people now. You know, I get people writing just stupid stuff on there that I block, and I've had recently a few comments, not necessarily negative, people saying, oh, it's really, I find it really awkward thing to talk about, but I like Nick's videos. I had some people saying, oh, she comes into work wearing hair and makeup, watch out, Mrs. Bundy, I've seen women like her before. And that stuff winds me up more than them being negative about my work, because I'm like, it's got nothing to do with what we're doing here. Like, this job, it was a rewire, it's got no, you know. And I did the stupid thing on my video where I just said, like, I get up every morning and I get ready. You know, I don't know if all women don't do it, but I do. You know, if on a Sunday I'm only going to Tesco, I still get up, have a shower, I put my face on and brush my hair. Do you know what I mean? That's just me. So that sort of stuff winds me up, because I feel like I've got a really good professional relationship with Nick and Adam. I love working with them. I've met Nick's wife and kids, and, you know, she's got no issue. In fact, she's very supportive of women in trades. She's got no issue with me working with Nick. And some of the other guys I work with, like I work with a guy called Ricky from RJ Homes. He's fantastic, absolutely love him. Brilliant at what he does. He's got a lot of patience. He's got a lot of time for people. Like, he's taught me some really good stuff. And his wife's the same. She's so supportive. She'll phone me up when she's seen that I'm getting stuff on social media. She'll phone me up and be like, don't listen to him.
Oh.
And there's a lot of support out there from men and women, and it's fantastic. I've had a few bits. I've had this guy that basically like stalked me. I met him on a job. I worked with him for like 3 days, and it got really bad to involve the police even.
Oh no.
He was like making videos about me. It got really out of hand. Like it was a bit mental, to be honest. So yeah, I went to the police and let them deal with it, and they sorted it. But that's the only like major issue I've had.
Yeah.
Like day to day on site, honestly, I don't really have any problems now. At the beginning of my when I was on those McDonald's, I had an issue with one guy, which was the reason I left in the end, to be honest. He was constantly just giving me crap, and I got sick of it. So
like what was he saying to you?
He used to like shout and swear at me. He was only a couple of years older than me. The place was always full of other people. There was all the trades were there at the same time. You don't get long to do these McDonald's. You get about 3 or 4 weeks to do a complete refurb. But he used to stand in my face and shout and swear at me, call me an idiot, and say, "Oh, you're so thick." If I used to ask him for something, bear in mind, I'd just come out of college. It was my first job, like on the tour. And if I used to ask him something like, "Oh, how do I do this?" he used to just swear at me, tell me to F off, and say, "Oh, you've been to college, haven't you? Go work it out yourself."
Oh
my God. Awful. It was awful. I used to hide in cupboards, phone my brother. I'd be like, "Can you help me wire this? I'll send you some photos. I don't know what to do." It was awful. Yeah, that went on for a little while, and then I'd had enough. The company weren't supportive at all. Just let him get away with it, basically. Yeah, it was really cool. It was really annoying. It's funny actually. They've been in touch with me since, so they've seen me on different things, social media stuff, and they've contacted me saying, "Oh, I see you're doing really well. Do you need any work?" Yeah,
no thanks.
Yeah. So yeah, generally 99% of the time don't have any problems. I think if I was starting out again, or to any other girls starting out, I'd say when you say you're starting on a site that you're going to be there a while, or any job really, where there's other trades in or other people, go in strong, like go in tough. Don't show any signs of weakness. Don't let, there's different levels of banter, isn't there? If someone says something out of order or something you're uncomfortable with, call them out straight away. Because I've found that if you start letting people get away with stuff, it spirals, and it can actually come to a point where you don't want to go to work because you feel that it's sometimes too much. You know what I mean? So you need to sort of go in tough and don't take any rubbish off anyone. And I think a lot of men respect you for that. They're like, "Oh, okay." And then like one of the lads then, and that's what you want. That's what I want. I want to go on to a job, and I want to be one of the lads.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, well, you just want to be on that equal plane, don't you? Yeah. And so kind of like, I mean, you've pretty much summarized it for me, but like kind of for any woman out there that is possibly kind of thinking, shouldn't I, is like on the fence, like thinking about even like younger girls as well, what would you say to them about kind of like working in trade? What would your advice be to them?
Well, first of all, I'd say do it. I'm not going to lie and say it's all plain sailing, there's no negatives, and you're not going to face anything difficult, because you are. That you're going to face difficulties possibly at college, and like I said, different sites that you're on, but the positives far outweigh the negatives. I wouldn't change my career now. I absolutely love my job. It's definitely worth it. And like I said, if you just go in strong, be tough, just don't take any crap, and honestly, it's a brilliant job.
Oh, amazing. Oh, Amy, thank you so much. So we'll just end it there, but I just really, really appreciate you being on the podcast this week. And I think you're an inspiration, and I think we're going to see so much more of you, and I want to see you. I want to see you on YouTube getting your 100,000s and your millions.
We'll see. I'm so cringe on videos. I did a video last weekend with Gina from York and Daughter. We've started doing some bits of work together. She's absolutely fantastic. So good at what she does. She's like 11 years in. She did an apprenticeship with her dad. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant electrician. We tried to do a video together, so we recorded this video together on Saturday, and I actually watched the footage last night, and I was sending her video clips of it. It was awful. I'm not releasing it. We're so crazy. And that's what I struggle with. So that's what I've got to try and get past, like me being really cringe and awkward. And
yeah, definitely.
It's just a thing that you've got to get used to, I suppose. But yeah, I'm hoping to get more content out there, and
we hope to see it. But I think that fact that you actually care and you find it cringe probably makes you so much more endearing and engaging, because you're authentic and you're not like, it's all about me kind of thing. It's like it's real,
Yeah.
But yeah, no, you're really inspiring, so thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're very welcome. And thank you everybody for listening. Make sure you tune in for next week's episode.
Oh my gosh, it was so wonderful chatting to Amy the Sparky and hearing her journey. If you want to find out what else she's been up to, you can follow her at Amy the Sparky on Instagram and YouTube. Before we go, just a reminder that this pod is part of a series in partnership with Design and Build UK's Women in Construction Awards, as we celebrate some truly inspirational women in trade. If you want to know who else we've been talking to, then follow and subscribe on your favourite podcast provider, and they'll be delivered straight to you. You can also follow us on our socials. But until next time, thanks for listening, and bye for now.